Welcome back to Russian Hockey Explained. In part 3, we're going to be going over some facts and information about the teams of the Eastern Conference of the KHL, so let's get started. The first Eastern team is Admiral, who plays in Vladivostok, which is about as far east as you can get in Russia, with two of its closest neighbors being Korea and Japan. Admiral was originally added to the KHL as an expansion team in 2013 to become a rival with the other Far Eastern club, Amur Khabarovsk. Admiral was forced to withdraw from the league in the 2020-21 season due to financial issues related to COVID. 1 year later, they were reinstated with updated branding and jerseys. They have a fun atmosphere in the building with loud fans and a stage for the cheerleaders behind their home goal. Some notable players who have donned the Admiral jersey include Red Wings prospect Dmitry Buchelnikov, who was loaned by SKA this past season, All-Star goalie Nikita Serebryakov, who was traded to SKA in exchange for Buchelnikov, Libor Sulak, who currently captains the team, and Vadim Kachov. Admiral is one of my favorite teams in the KHL due to their crowd's atmosphere and fast on-ice style of play. They are definitely a team I would pay attention to over the next few seasons. Next, we have Akbars Kazan, who are one of the most successful teams in KHL history with 3 Gagarin Cups, including the very first Gagarin Cup in league history. They are located in Kazan, which is the capital of Tatarstan, a largely Muslim republic with a rich cultural history. Along with their cups, Akbars had one of the most ridiculous lockout rosters I've ever seen during the 2004-05 season, with numerous NHLers including Kovalchuk, Lecavalier, Heatley, Habibulin, Brad Richards, Kasparidis, Michael Nylander, Kovalev, Kozlov, and Zaripov. Their current roster took a bit of a hit recently, but will surely jump back quickly with names such as Vadim Shapachov, Artyom Galimov, Yevgeny Svechnikov, Dmitry Yashkin, Kirill Semyonov, and recently acquired 2024 eligible Arsen Timazov, who is one of my favorite players from this past year's draft class. Some other important names to mention from Akbar's history include Alex Radulov, who recently left the team to go to Lokomotiv, Dima Voronkov, who looks like a monster in Columbus, 2024 eligible Timofey Jolin, who I can't praise enough and think deserves an NHL look at some point during his career, and Utah defenseman Mikhail Sergachev, who grew up in Tatarstan. Akbars is a great team with a lot of history, culture, and always a bright future. The next team, Amur, is located in the far east of Russia in the city of Khabarovsk. The team is named after the Amur tiger native to Russia, and they are one of the founding teams in the KHL, but have somehow never made it past the first round of the playoffs in any of their 16 seasons. They have only qualified for the playoffs 3 times in their history, though that does include this past season where they snuck in as the 8th seed, so there is some hope. They have a cool, newly updated tiger face logo, some nice jerseys, and 21-year-old Ignat Korotky looks to have a bright future, but other than that, there's not much going for Amur. Avangard Omsk has quickly become one of my favorite organizations in Russian hockey. From their great logo and jersey design to their consistently talented rosters and development system, Omsk has quickly become one of the most successful franchises in the KHL. Their most recent triumph came in 2021 when the franchise captured their first ever Gagarin Cup with one of my favorite rosters of all time, including players like Ilya Kovalchuk, Reed Boucher, Corbin Knight, Sergei Tolchinsky, Nal Yakupov, Yegor Chinikov, and many more, defeating Setska in 6 games. They have recently upgraded their facilities and have invested lots into their junior and youth programs, which have quickly reaped rewards, developing young stars such as Ivan Miroshnichenko, Mikhail Guyayev, Gleb Trikazov, Timur Mukanov, and Timur Kol. They also have a very deep pool of goaltending talent working their way up the ranks. Their biggest alumni currently include Yaromir Yagr and Ilya Mikheyev, but this list is surely to get longer over the next coming years. Avangard is one of the most successful young franchises in the KHL and is definitely worth your time and attention. Avtomobilis Yekaterinburg is a team that sits in the middle of the standings most years. They have a winged A logo and some super nice jerseys in my opinion. They are most famous for being the hometown team of the Magic Man Pavel Datsyuk, who started and ended his career in Yekaterinburg. The current Avto team is led by Canadian-born German and Wings pick Brooks Machek, as well as French-born ex-senator Stéphane DaCosta. These 2 imports led Avto to the semifinals in the 2022-23 season with career years and continue to be the top play drivers for the club. The current team also includes 6'5" Sharks defensive prospect Yevgeny Kashnikov, former Islanders draft pick and current captain Anatoly Golishev, and one of my favorite young grinders, Nikita Blednov. They participate in the Derby of the Urals against Traktor Chelyabinsk, which brought some nice new jerseys this past season. Avto is always competitive and a fun team to be a fan of if you are looking for a smaller, local-oriented team to cheer for. Barys Astana is currently the only team from Kazakhstan in the KHL. Their team is mostly made up of Kazakh-born players and entered the league in its second season. They recently updated their logo and jerseys, which I'm not a big fan of. I really loved their old logo and jersey design, but they didn't ask me before the rebrand. During the 2012 lockout, Ryan McDonough, Victor Hedman, and Nick Antropov joined the Barys roster. Some of the most popular players in Barys history include Canadian-born players Nigel Dawes, Darren Dietz, and Dustin Boyd, as well as the Kazakh-born Roman Starchenko. They are typically at the bottom of the league standings, but their youth development is slowly starting to improve, so hopefully we start seeing some more success from Barys in the future. Lada Tagliati is the most recent addition to the KHL after being reinstated this past season. They were one of the original teams in the league, but have been demoted twice in their history due to an insufficient arena and financial issues. Their name comes from Russian car brand Lada, and they have changed their logo to an owl, updating their brand to reflect the new era of the team. They have played in the VHL for the last couple of seasons while making upgrades to their home arena, and after being reinstated they were able to make the playoffs in their first year back. Some notable names who have played for Lada include Alexander Semin, Ilya Brzgalov, Viktor Kozlov, and Denis Guryanov. Their current team made a playoff push in its first season back, and their roster includes players such as Ostap Safin, Dmitry Kugrishev, Maxim Berezin, and a young defenseman I really liked in the MHL this past season, Matvey Krivinashkin. Lada came back into the league with a ton of energy, and I expect them to be one of the top teams in the KHL within the next few seasons. Next up, we have the reigning Gagarin Cup champions, Metallurg Magnitogorsk. Metallurg is one of the most successful franchises with 3 Gagarin Cups in their history and countless finals appearances. They have a great logo which shows a gritty fox, and their recent jerseys have been very clean and simple. They are primed to potentially win another championship next season with a deep roster, including top wild prospect Danila Yurov, Maxim Karpov, reigning goalie of the year with an NHL future in Colorado, Yulia Nabokov, underrated Hawks prospect Roman Kancerov, ex-NHLer Robin Press, and recent signee Mikhail Shalagin, who has torn up the top Belarusian league for the past few years and has his rights owned by the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have a stacked all-time team with names such as Sergei Mozyakin, who many consider to be the GOAT of the KHL, Yevgeny Malkin, Sergei Gonchar, Yevgeny Nabokov, Patrick Eliash, and 2 names I was really surprised to learn played in the KHL during the 2012 lockout, Ryan O'Reilly and Mats Zuccarello. Metallurg is a team with a winning culture primed to win another championship very soon. Neftekhimik was originally founded in 1968 by workers at the petrochemical plant in their home city of Nizhnekamsk. They eventually worked their way up to the top division of Russian hockey and were included in the very first season of the KHL. Like Amur, Neftekhimik has not found much success, only making it to the second round of the playoffs one time in KHL history. Their current roster includes players such as former Kings draft picks Alexander Dergachev and Bulat Shafigulin, as well as former Canucks pick Dmitry Zhukanov. Neftekhimik is the hometown of former NHL first overall pick Nail Yakupov, who returned to the team this past season, as well as Stanley Cup champion Mikhail Sergachev and current SKA star Marat Hayrulin. Neftekhimik is a very small franchise with a real local feel. They are very unlikely to make a deep playoff run anytime soon, but you never know who may be playing in their development system ready to make an impact. As you can probably guess by the name, Sibir Novosibirsk is the team of Siberia's capital, and they embrace their cold hometown with what I think is a very fitting logo. They were one of the founding teams of the KHL, but have not found much success yet as they are a difficult draw for free agents. Sibir participates in the Battle of Siberia against their neighboring rivals Avangard Omsk, where Omsk took 3-1 in this year's series. Novosibirsk has some of the best uniforms in the league in my opinion. I've always been a big fan of sky blue, dark blue, and yellow as a color combo. Their most notable alumni include reigning Stanley Cup champion Vladimir Tarasenko and star KHL forward Alexander Sharov, who currently plays in Ufa. Their current roster is not very deep, but some of the bigger names include Taylor Beck, Ivan and Yegor Klimovich, who are two future superstars, and newly acquired prospect by the Wild, Dima Ovechkin. Former NHL star goaltender Anton Khudobin also suited up for a few games during this past season, but it is unlikely that he will repeat that again this next year. Siberia is not an easy draw for free agents, but Novosibirsk has done a great job of developing players to fit into their lineup, and they have the potential to become a top team in the league in the near future. Tractor Chelyabinsk has become a fan favorite among North Americans due to its funny-sounding name and old polar bear logo, but upgrades and investments have begun to turn Tractor into an exciting up-and-coming franchise. Their new uniforms and logos look great in my opinion, even if they could use a bit more color sticking to a monochrome theme. They participate in the Ural Derby against Avtomobilis, which allowed for some great specialty uniforms to be created for this year's battle. Their most notable alumni include Yevgeny Kuznetsov, Valery Nichushkin, and Andrei Nikolishin. Their current roster could probably use some upgrades, but they still have some great players including ex-Canuck and Ranger Vitaly Kravtsov, Maxim Shabanov, Vadim Kachov, Anton Burdasov, Canes prospect Alexander Rykov, and 2024 eligible Artyom Shuchinov. This is a great team to back if you are looking for a team with room to grow and potential to make a deep playoff run if they add some more pieces. Salavat Ulayev is a team based in Ufa, Russia that is in a bit of a down period right now, but has a solid roster capable of making a push next season. The team is named after Salavat Ulayev, a hero in Russia for his efforts in Pugachev's Rebellion, a major peasant rebellion in the 1770s. They have bright green uniforms and have some nice new thirds that resemble the Dallas Alternates. They are one half of the Green Derby, which is a deep rivalry between Ufa and Kazan. Their alumni include Andrei Vasilevskiy, Alexander Radulov, Kirill Kaprizov, one of my favorite KHL imports of all time, Timu Hartikainen, and Leafs first-round pick Rodion Amirov, who tragically passed away during a battle with cancer last year. Their current roster is in a rebuilding phase, but still has names such as Grigory Panin, KHL star Alexander Sharov, Wild prospect Matvey Guskov, the brother of the Big Cat Alexei Vasilevskiy, and 2024 prospect Matvey Babenko. Salavat Ulayev is unlikely to win in the near future, but if you are able to cheer through a bit of a rebuild, a choice of Ufa for your new favorite team may pay off sooner than expected.